So we're here with Vice President of Internal Affairs, candidate Jeffrey Tran. The first question I want to ask you, Jeffrey, is first, why are you running and what qualifications do you have for this position?
Mm. Why I'm running to be the next VP of Internal Affairs is because first, I want to serve the student body. I feel like I am the best candidate to serve and meet the needs of the student body. Right now, my platform consists of issues like more resources, improving study environments, combating mental health and food insecurity. These are major points for me, and I think the student body could really relate to these issues and understand. I have very pragmatic goals and solutions to these problems that we keep talking about every year. But I think my details are a realistic, pragmatic step towards the right direction. And my past experience with AACCR is currently I'm serving as the AACCR Finance Outreach Coordinator. I'm in the Finance Committee. So this past year, I've been in meetings every week approving allocations for student organizations. And as the Finance Outreach Coordinator, one of my biggest responsibilities this year was, tracking money, how it was allocated to what type of organization, and seeing the increases and looking at how much money is spent compared to how much was allocated. And in this position, it was really fulfilling because I think in a quiet sense, in a less public sense, I was really still an advocate for students. I still recall sitting in finance hearing meetings, looking at a student organization's budget and seeing that they had a couple $100s more to allocate, and really being assistance to them, noting out, hey, you have 400 to 600 more dollars, you can allocate towards something else. And really caught them by surprise, and I just be there to be like, you could put this towards a venue space or towards your meeting expenses, towards your club apparel. So I think in as my experience in ACCR Finance, I've already been fighting for students, really improving student organizations and really being an aid for them to grow at school and in the extracurriculars. And now I see as an opportunity to run for VP of Internal Affairs as an opportunity to continue that fight to really serve students. And I know it's going to be a lot different what I did this year, but I'm very confident that I will be responsive to students' voices, to their needs, and provide them answers and solutions.
How would you make sure students are heard within ASUCR?
Mm. So yeah, we always want a strong working relationship, whether it's from senators, the judicial committee, my committee, and most importantly, the student body. So one thing I really want to do is have conjoint town halls, public forums with executive cabinet, because I know our job as the executive cabinet is really different from the Senate. So I think the student body should hold us accountable as the executive cabinet, really understand the steps we're doing. This could be quarterly, bi-monthly, where students really have the opportunity, a free open space to ask these questions and expect answers. And another thing I really want to explore is going towards other platforms, really being an aid to the marketing and promotions committee. Even though I understand it's not their sole responsibility, I want to brainstorm ideas with them so we could have better accessibility to students, because just telling students, hey, go to accr.ucr.edu is not good enough. We need to make our information, our progress more accessible, easy to read, easy to access.
How would you work with the Senate specifically?
Mm. To the Senate, I really want to work with them on legislation and their relationship with the deans they will have to meet. Because I know on my committee as VP of Internal Affairs, I have a list of committees and members of the administration to meet with. I want to work with them to allow them the opportunity to join me in these meetings, because I think it would be selfish for just myself to use my position to attend these meetings with deans, administrators. No, I want to invite senators with me as well, because I know they have concerns, they have ideas, they have a voice to put out there. Because my voice is limited, but if I have more differing opinions and more voices with me, I think it'd be more proactive to really get towards progress and change.
What would you bring to this position that's new?
That's new. Well, I really want to like illustrate. I think I could bring an opportunity to build great relationships. My this current and past year, I've created amazing relationships with senators, members of the executive cabinet, even in the GCAP committee. I think my ability to create trustworthy, hardworking relationships is something new I could bring. Um, my two opponents are current senators. I am not a current senator. I see how some people might see that as a disadvantage for me, as for my experience. But I want voters and the student body to know I've been working in a more quiet sense, really fighting for um, students already. And I believe in this position, I could bring that calmness, that progress and proactivity to the Office of VP Internal Affairs.
What new projects do you have in mind that you would like to implement?
Mm. So one thing I really want to implement is one thing I struggled with was at the hub that there are these amazing resources, laptop kiosks, which are amazing resource because students that are not comfortable or cannot afford to bring their own technology to school are able to borrow one from the school. And I think the kiosks currently are a great resource. However, I believe that as so many times when students want to, check out laptop, they're either not enough or they're like either out of batteries. So I understand there's an amazing resource already, but now I want to meet with the hub director every single month so we can discuss in how we can provide an other laptop kiosk and another. And when I proposed this, people had a great reaction, and someone else even brought out hey, they're also really dirty. And I'm like, thank you for that feedback. And that's something else I would discuss. I think I'm being very open with my platform and getting an amazing response. So that's one thing. I want to provide more resources in the hub, like laptops, even a stapler, because I know there's not a stapler there. Oh, and the other thing I'm trying to implement is expanding the 24-hour library program. Currently, it starts a little bit before finals week, right? But right now, I want to change that to have it at the start of week 10 because we know several students have finals during week 10. If we could provide them a safe, productive space to study, I hope that would be a really beneficial aid to their academic career. In addition, um, if you ever use the library during finals week, you might see how it becomes a little bit filthy, maybe less inviting to use. So I hope to work with the school administration and even a service organization to maybe volunteer time to clean it. I think that would be amazing service. My committee and other organizations could volunteer and just keep our shared library a clean and productive space.
How would you hold people within ASUCR accountable and make sure ASUCR is transparent?
Mm. Accountability is a large issue because we're committed to this job for at least for a year, and I understand that after being elected, someone might be burnt out. And going back to my previous answer, I want to build great, strong working relationships. If I see a fellow elected official not being as proactive, less maybe slacking, I first would, you know, um, encourage him, her, they, because I really want to find the best in ourselves, the best in each other, and really encourage each other to do the best for the most people we can. So before I go into maybe a negative view, I want to be very, very positive and build an opportunity to come back and really work. But yes, we still need to be accountable. And I commit to having a strong relationship with the personnel director, keeping them accountable on their duties, monthly reports, dean meetings, because we are expected to do a job. If we're not doing that job, we shouldn't be in the position. And so I hope to hold them accountable. We are looking at legislation to increase accountability. And there was a second part of your question.
Yeah, basically, how would you make sure ASUCR is also transparent?
Transparent. Yeah, I think that kind of goes back to my like outreach issue because telling students go to accr.ucr.edu, that's not good enough. That is putting them through a weird maze, navigating them to be lost. Because I've been on that website before. Takes time to find that actual form or that piece of information you're looking for. So we need to have something that's more accessible. For example, when things are passed every week in our Senate meetings, we shouldn't just upload the notes into some hard to find folder on the website. We should make it accessible, have it updated on social media, because we know people are carrying their phones everywhere they are. So we can have things more accessible to them and know what is happening in live time, and giving them an opportunity to respond their satisfaction or the displeasure, their anger, their concerns. We should be able to respond to that quickly.
And that was my last question. Do you have anything else you would like to add?
Mm, Last thing I want to add is I understand my role as VP of Internal Affairs. One thing, as I was reaching out to organizations and sharing them my platform and telling them the organizations I have met with, a lot of people have brought up, hey, have you brought up this organization? Have you met with this organization? Have you met this leader? And it made me realize how there's so many organizations I didn't previously heard of or known like a leader individual in. So I really hope next year, if I'm elected, I'm going to make a internal affairs committee that is inclusive of all students right now. And that means being inclusive of all backgrounds, race, ethnicity, gender, income, sexuality, everything, because I want to have a committee that's reflective of UCR and the students of UCR. Because in my campaign biography, I said we find strength in our diversity and shared common goal in creating a better school. So I hope voters, the student body, gives me that opportunity to do so.
All right. Well, thanks again for taking the time to do this interview. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Jonathan.
Of course.